Oh, hello there. Yes, just a quick one before work this morning. Overnight, whilst most of the papers were full of Rishi Sunak's pledges at some stage in the future to do something, there's news coming through this morning that the government is likely to announce anti-strike legislation, possibly today, more likely perhaps tomorrow. Not really a lot to say about this. The government have decided to go forward with the notion of minimum services, which they'll negotiate with unions. However, if no negotiations come to fruition, the government will simply impose minimum service levels. Oddly enough, the Daily Telegraph has decided to say that these are unworkable. I think mainly on the basis with the idea that it'll be very, very hard to actually pass legislation through the Lords at the moment. I'm not entirely sure. I wouldn't be at all surprised if somebody doesn't have the bright idea of bringing in emergency legislation because of an emergency that there is. A nice conflagration of COVID and nurses' strikes, along with ambulance strikes, might well see that one coming forwards in the next month, should we say. I don't know. I mean, these things essentially are unworkable, but at the same time, this is a government that is very much on the ropes. So they will probably be relying quite heavily on their friends in the media to lift stories about people dying in ambulances, perhaps negating the fact that people were dying in ambulances quite a while before anyone went on strike. I think these things are unworkable. If nurses decide to go on strike under these kind of arrangements, what happens? They all get fired? How do you run a hospital when you just fired your workforce? I don't know. As ever with these anti-strike things, whenever they come in, they can't actually be worked properly. The Thatcher administration felt that they'd had a sort of slam dunk by making it almost impossible for unions to ballot their members in order to strike. And as we've seen in the last few months, when you hack enough people off, that suddenly all falls apart. That kind of coalition that they had of working class homeowners has basically completely now gone to the wall with the rise of the millennial generation, who are seriously not keen on a Conservative government. Anyway, we'll see how that one goes. It's still dark outside. Have a lovely rest of the day.